Hello neighbor, Alicia Dolan here at Creating in My Corner. I am live tonight with a Stampin' Sunday class for you. I hope you're prepared. I know that I have not decided yet what we'll be making, so we'll find that out together. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around because I have a few things that I really wanted to show you tonight, and my camera is not quite set up yet. That's why hopefully I'm not making you a little bit sick by holding it. I'm going to turn it around, and I wanted to show you a few cards before we get started, and then we will make what we're going to make. All right, I'm going to turn the sound off for just a minute, so if you don't hear me, it's because I'm putting it on the stand. Okay, so now here we are over in our stamping corner, and this weekend I had two different things going on. I actually left the cards from my monthly card class upstairs, so I can't show those to you, but I did show them in last week's video. So if you want to get a peek at those, you'll have to go back a week. But also, I wanted to show you, I had a Christmas card buffet on Saturday, and I wanted to show you the cards from that. It'll take me just a minute to get them all out, but this is the first one we worked on. Now, we used some current stamps, some retired paper, but you'll notice different things throughout. Okay, so there is the first card. I just wanted to show you in case you ever get the chance to come to a card buffet. It was so much fun. Here is the second card. And the ladies who came, I had all the pieces prepared for them. So most of what they did was just stamp and assemble their cards. That's what we do at my card class as well. I try to make it as easy as possible. Here is the third card that we made. Now you could stamp the inside of this one too, but I love these vellum cards. They always turn out so pretty. So there's 3 so far. All right, here is the fourth one. All right, and I do give them all a piece for the inside of the card too, especially when it's dark like this, so that it's easier to write on. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of the cards we made at Card Buffet. I just wanted to show you how much they got and how much. Oh, I can't really show you how much fun they had. You'll have to ask. You'll have to ask them about that. But we had a really great time. Okay, here is another one of the cards we made. And this one here. I'm trying to get them all out of the envelope so you can really see them. So like I said, some of the paper is retired, some of the stamps are retired. And so you can't order these, but if you ever get a chance to come to a card buffet, there could be things that you've seen in the past that you get to use that are no longer available. And here is the last card. Okay, so when the ladies got here, they got to choose which cards they wanted to make first, how many they wanted to make of each card, and we stamped together from 10 o'clock until 2 o'clock and had so much fun. And the ladies they went home with anywhere between 16 and 18 cards. So it just depends on how fast a stamper you are, how many cards you make. But I really wanted to show you all those great ideas as you're getting ready for Christmas. Feel free to copy any of those designs that you want to. I'm sure that I copied most of them from somewhere else, and I couldn't tell you now where. Usually I just pick up a sketch and copy the shapes and the measurements. So there are some great ideas for Christmas cards, for using up your paper. And if you ever do get a chance to come to a card buffet, it's really a lot of fun. I'm hoping to have another one in person in January. So when I get a date planned for that, I'll be sure to include that in my email. All right, and then tonight we are going to make some cards. I was trying to think of a set that I haven't used yet, but I think we're going to make some more cards with this Beary Cute polar bear set. I love this set. And let's get our bear punch, and we'll start with this one, but I do have another idea. So I don't know if we'll just use this stamp set or if we'll switch to something else a little bit later. I am not sure. All right, so what I want to do, and I've got here the A Walk in the Forest Designer Series paper. And let's see. I have some white cardstock. Let's use Pretty Peacock. I really love this Pretty Peacock. So let me see, does it match? I wasn't sure if that was Pretty Peacock or Shaded Spruce, but I think either one would go. All right. So now what I'm going to do is get a piece of thick basic white, and I'm going to cut that at 5.5. All right, and then I'm going to turn it sideways and score it at 4 1/4, and that will make a standard size card. So we can just fold that in half. And I like to press it with my bone folder too. Now, if you do want to come to a card class, the next class I have is December, I think it's the 15th. And I have those at 10 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the evening. Either one you can sign up for. And that's in my email too, or you can send me a message and I can send you the link to RSVP for those. Okay, and then I think we will, let's see. Let's do, I'm trying to think what do I want to do with this? All right, let's get a piece of our Pretty Peacock. Whoop, I got too many pieces flying out at me. You know what? This one right here looks like it might be close to the right size. Let's cut that at 5. By 3 3/4. And then let's take our card and let's give it another score along the front at, let's see, what's half of 4 1/4? Well, let's fold it in half. We'll fold it back. No, I don't want to do that. I don't know why. I don't want to do that tonight. That's not, okay, so we've got 5 by 3 3/4. I really appreciate the way that you always bear with me as I'm figuring out what our plan is. I don't always know ahead of time what I am going to do. I think I really like this one with the little trees, but I kind of wanted one with the bears. Let's see. Let's use this one with these little bears. They're super cute. Okay, and our punch, let's see. We'll punch out. If we were to use our punch, we could punch out this bear, this bear, this bear. We could maybe punch out these ones, but we'd have to punch from the other side, which would be a little tricky. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cut my paper here at 4 7/8. And then this way at 3 5/8. And yeah, I like that. Okay, and then we have one bear that's going this way, and then if we take our punch, we can punch out this little bear right here. I love when you can punch an image out of the paper and you don't have to stamp. I love to stamp, but sometimes I really think it's fun to punch something right out of the paper. All right, so now we have 2 little bears. And we need a little sentiment. So let's see. I really like this Christmas is Better Together. Let's go with that. And let's see. I have my little scrap basket right here. Not basket, it's an envelope. My scrap basket is actually back behind me. I'm watching for your comments tonight, but I haven't seen any yet. So let me know if you have any questions. All right, and I need a block. Just before I started the video, I brought all my stuff back downstairs because when I have classes, I have them upstairs. So with one on Friday and one on Saturday, I hadn't brought everything back yet. All right, and so let's stamp Christmas is Better Together. I got that on there crooked, but I think I'm going to be able to stamp straight. So we'll see. I might not. You never know. All right, I got my pretty peacock ink. So a lot of the time I am stamping on the fly when I stamp with you. In the very beginning, my first couple videos, I tried really hard to plan everything out ahead of time, and I had a really hard time. Not because it was hard, but then when things didn't go the way that they had when I practiced them, I struggled to pull my video back together. So now I usually just stamp as we go, and then I know that whatever happens, we just have to roll with it, right? Because there's no redoing. I can't tell you how many times in the beginning I would redo and plan ahead, and it was difficult for me for whatever reason. But I really like designing with you on the go, and I like that sometimes if I can see your comments, I can get your input on the designs. I like that. And it does make me feel more like we're stamping together, and that's something I really love about crafting. I love how it brings people together. I think I'm being a little too fussy. Maybe I'll just fussy cut this and put it on, but let's see. All right, so we've got our card base and our next layer here. We've got two little bears, and our Christmas is better to get. See, I really think that needs to be fussy cut. All right, so we're gonna do that, and I think we need some ribbon. We need some ribbon up here at the top. But what color should it be? Let's see. I don't think this is a bear color necessarily. I'm not sure. But look how pretty that is. It's going to be that one. Okay, and this is called white iridescent ribbon, which makes perfect sense, right? Because look how shiny and sparkly that is. Okay. So we're going to put that aside. We're going to fussy cut it, but it's going to take us a minute. Here's our little bear, and here is our layer to go on the top. Okay, now we're going to glue this on, and I'm going to show you the green glue. I know not everyone loves this green glue. Okay, some people hate it, some people love it. I love the green glue. Here, I'm going to move this to the side. I don't know if you'll be able to see this really well, but let me see if I can zoom in a little. No, I can't. All right, so I'm going to show you all my tips and tricks for the green glue. So you already know about my friend Mortimer here, who holds my glue for me, because I found that storing my glue this way, so that this pointy end is down, keeps the glue further down this way, and I don't get as many air bubbles. Okay, and I always put the cap back on my glue when I am done using it. So now I'm just going to squeeze really gently, because we want a thin line of glue all around the edge. And I'll bring it up close so you can see it in just a minute. See how I left that little spot for my finger? That's important too, because we don't want gluey fingers. Now, another thing to keep in mind when you're spreading that glue around, you're not going to be pressing the tip of the glue into the paper really hard. You're just gently rubbing it along there. So see how nice And even that glue this one is a little lumpy right here. I don't like that. So anytime you get some little lumps, you can just smoosh them out. All right. Hi, Linda. I think yours is the first comment on there tonight. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so now we're going to turn that over and we're going to sit it down right in the center of our cardstock. And we can wiggle it around a little bit. I find that that sometimes helps that glue spread out underneath there so it's not in those squiggly lines I put it in. And we're just going to press it down. My computer's having a hard time. I try to watch your comments on the computer and it's really struggling. It's been just whirling and whirling. So hopefully you can still see me. Hopefully you're seeing me better than I'm seeing me, because it's not looking good over here. It's not looking good. All right, now what we're going to do with our ribbon is we're going to cut a little length that's just longer than our cardstock, okay? Like this. We're going to grab our little glue dots and we're going to put one on either end. All right, now when I put on my glue dots, I like to press them against the table. And if you push them in pretty good, then your backing should peel right off. And that makes it a lot easier. Sometimes they'll feel like they're stuck on the backing. But if you press them pretty good on there, then usually one side or the other you can peel. You can peel it right off. Okay, so now we're going to line that up across the top here. Oh, I almost got that glue dot a little too close to the edge there. All right, and then we'll just fold it around. So it goes like that. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to tie a little knot around that. And when I'm tying a knot, I always try to pull kind of slow because I don't want it to get too tight before it kind of looks the way I want it to. Because then it gets that bend in it, you know, and sometimes there's just no coming back from that. All right, so now we're going to trim our ends at an angle. And this time I'm trimming them at the same angle. Sometimes I trim them different. I couldn't tell you why I do things the way I do. Some of the things. And now we're going to put the lid back on our glue because we definitely don't want that to dry out. And Mortimer is holding it tight for us. If you don't have a Mortimer, then I would suggest that you find something similar. And he is actually from the dollar store, and he's a planter, just a little cement planter, and he is the perfect size and heft to hold my glue. So I have tried like little cups and stuff before, but they tip over all the time. And that about makes me crazy. So Mortimer was the perfect solution. And actually I got him at a crafting retreat. So even better. He was not only a wonderful helper, but he was also a gift. All right, so now we're going to put our Stampin' Dimensionals on the back here. Oh, Janelle, I just saw your comment. I hope you can see the replay. I don't know what's going on with I don't know if it's my internet or what. It looks like it's working okay on my phone. Okay, well, Linda, I'm glad you can see me. Hopefully the recording will work just fine later too. I feel like lately my internet's been a little funny. So I don't know if it's because everyone around here is always on the internet. You know, my kids are on the internet. My husband's on the internet. We don't have cable, and so most of the time, if we're watching a show or whatever, it's definitely live streamed. Okay. In fact, I was crafting the other night. Some of you will probably think this is rather crazy already, but I was watching White Christmas. That's one of my favorite movies, and so I was making Christmas cards and watching White Christmas and having just a wonderful time. Okay, and we're going to use dimensionals on this too. So let me grab some of those. And you'll notice this time I'm just using these ones along the edge. I use up every little bit of all my craft supplies, and I'm assuming you probably do too. I do not like to waste anything. All right. So there is our second little bear. I love this little polar bear. I love little bears. These are actually probably maybe little grizzly bears, right? Because I'm sure that polar bears are usually white. All right, so now we're going to fussy cut our little Christmas is Better together. So I'm just going to use my scissors. And when you're fussy cutting, remember, try to turn your paper, not your scissors. And I can't remember the exact reason for that. Besides, I know if I turn my scissors, I'm far more likely to stab myself a little bit. And if I'm turning my paper, then I give myself a little more leeway, usually. And for some reason, it seems like my cuts are much smoother if I turn my paper instead of my scissors. I guess I have a little better control over the scissors. I don't know. I try to share all my tips and hints with you while we're here. So, and I know they may not work for everybody, but I try to share what works for me. Now, look, I cut that way crooked, so I'm going to have to fix that side. That's bordering on ridiculous right there. And I'll tell you, if someone else had cut it, I probably wouldn't notice. But because I'm the one who cut it, I cannot stand for it. Okay, so then we can put our, now see, that's why I didn't tie my bow down all the way too. Sometimes you gotta scoot it over to make a little more room. Okay, but it's kind of twisting up here. So I'm gonna grab my take your pick tool. You guys already know I lost the little cover for this end. It made me a little crazy. I'm about 99% sure it fell right off my table into the trash. And I could not find, I did even go through the trash. It's just paper trash down here. I don't let there be any food trash in the basement because we had mice once, and so I try very hard to keep any food trash out of here. Okay, so now our ribbon will lay flat because we snuck that mini glue dot under there. And then we're just going to stick this little guy right up here. Now look, that, when I trimmed that, I got a little spiky spot. Okay. All right, so now here's our Stampin' Dimensionals. We're going to put those on. There we go. Now this is kind of a quick and simple card, so maybe we'll try to do something a little fancy with the next one, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So there is our, I can't get it to go quite under the bow the way I want it to. There. Christmas is better together. I think it's so cute. And then let's put, let's see, where did I put my little gems? With these little bears, you guys, I love these little gems. Okay, and these are the 2022 to 2024 in color pearls. Now, at first, I barely noticed these little sparkly fellas, but since I found them, I've been using them a lot. And they go really well with a lot of different papers. They go great with this paper. They're pretty with the Merry and Bright paper. So let's put, and I'm going to put different colors on here just because I can. And maybe a green one. Let's do all the colors. Okay, so let's put a red one. And what color didn't I get? This one so far. Okay, so there is, okay. Okay, there is our first card for tonight. Isn't that cute? Okay, I love that little bear. And then you can put a piece inside too and stamp it if you want to. I do usually put the piece inside, but I don't usually stamp it until I'm ready to send it because sometimes I want to print something out to put inside, and sometimes I just want to write on it. So I usually leave it blank inside until I'm ready to send it out. Or sometimes I do put my cards in my card rack and give them away as prizes or gifts. And so I think it makes them a little more appealing when people can change them out for whatever kind of thing they need them for. All right, so there is one. There's our first card. And I know I had seen something else I wanted to try, but I cannot remember what it was. So let's make another one with this set, should we? I think we should. Let's go ahead. All right. So now let's make one that is Pretty Peacock. Okay. And what we're going to do is, let's see, let me measure this piece because I just pulled it out of my stash. 5.5 by 8.5. So this is the right size for a regular card. We're going to score it here at 4 1/4. All right, and this time we're gonna be fancy. Okay, so we're gonna fold it in half. Press it with our bone folder. And then we are gonna score that front at 2 3/4. Is it 2 3/4? No, it's going to be 2 1/8. All right. All right, now, and don't worry because I am going to send you all those measurements when I send out my email. So I'm going to fold it back. I need to press it again. All right. And then let's get a white piece for the front. That is too thick. All right. So we need a piece that is 5¼ by 4. Let's see, that's 5. So we're going to go over here. 5¼ by 4. Okay, and this is going to go on the front. Right? Yes. Okay. So now this time I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal because I don't because that's what I want to do. So I'm doing it. All right, now when you use the Stampin' Seal, if you'll notice, I did just do something I don't usually do. But I almost always set it down and I use Stampin' Pierce mat underneath. I start at the left, I slide it to the right, and then I tilt it back before I lift it off the paper. Not everyone has to take that many steps with it, but I do. It's just how it works best for me. Okay, so what we're going to do is center this piece of white on here. All right, and it's just attached here on the left. It's not attached super strong. Okay, and now, let's see what, I kind of want this tree to go in the middle, but I'm wondering if it's a little too big. So let me see. And then we're going to grab our Stylish Shapes dies. And let's see. So we're going to need this one. That's the largest circle. And we're going to need this one. Okay. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take the front of our card, and we've got 3 layers to go through, so it's going to be a little bit tricky. But what we want to do is center this, and we're going to cut through all 3 layers at the same time. All right, I'm going to try and bring my Stampin' Cup, my Big Shot over here so you can see what I'm doing. Because this is going to be a little bit trickier than what it was before. Oh, good. I'm glad it's playing now. All right. So this is my Big Shot. I know that now we have the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, but I haven't switched over to that yet. Okay, I'm gonna put my circle so that it's right in the middle. And remember, we're using that large Stylish Shapes die, and we're gonna try and keep it pretty centered. And I'm gonna put my top plate on. And I found that usually if I put one side down and then lower the other side carefully, things don't slide around as much as they would otherwise. All right, now I'm gonna try not to wiggle the table too much here. So I went forward and now I'm gonna go backward over it. And hopefully we'll cut through all those layers at the same time. All right, let's see what we've got here. So we got through one, but we didn't get through the second one. All right, so what I'm gonna do is put that circle back inside there. And you should be able to line it up so that it's fairly, fairly even in there. Now this is something that you're not going to want to rush, okay? So this card might take you a little more than other cards. Okay, and we have our circle over here that we can use for something else. And now, when we pull this out, there's the circle. And we have, oh, I'm doing it the wrong way. Okay, and we have our circle like this. Okay, so I didn't tell you what we're doing ahead of time, so you might be like, what is she doing? It's all okay. It's all going to be great. All right, so now I'm going to take this smaller circle and I'm going to make 2 white circles. Since I already moved my die cutting machine to the side, I'm gonna do it over there. So hold on. I hope that you're all enjoying this tonight. Okay, here's circle number 1. And circle number 2. And I know that because I don't always plan ahead, probably it takes me a little longer in the video, but I love our time together. So I love stamping with you, and I want to show you cool stuff. And I feel like maybe it's a little more fun when you don't know what I'm doing and I don't know what I'm doing either. Okay, so here are our little circles. And we're going to take, oh no, where did my tree go? All right, here it is. I worried myself a little bit there for a second, because sometimes I get these little clear stamps stuck on the back of something and then I can't find them again for a really long time, like forever. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, let's see, we have, do we want to stamp our tree in Pretty Peacock? I think we might, right? Okay. I feel like I'm a little bit on the struggle bus tonight, but it's all okay. Maybe it's because I don't have any Christmas music playing. I don't know. Okay, so here we go. Or maybe I'm already thinking about birthday cards, because next month we're going to do birthday cards. Okay, and we're going to stamp our tree each of these little circles. And I'm trying to stamp them pretty much in the same spot. Right? They don't have to be, it doesn't have to be perfect, but we want them to be pretty close. Because I'm going to show you why in a minute. All right. Oh, I really inked that one up good. Okay. I gotta get my chamois out of its case even. Clean that off. Okay, and then we want the little insides of the tree. Okay, and we're going to stamp them in the same color this time. That pretty peacock, I just got that Pretty Peacock not that long ago, and it's still really juicy. Okay. Just means I have to be a little extra careful when I'm stamping so that I don't get too much ink on my okay. So there are our little trees. They're so cute. I love this set. I love the little trees, the little polar bears. Okay. All right, so there are, you know what? I should have stamped that piece of white, but I guess it's a little late for that now, isn't it? Okay, so now what we are gonna do is gonna be a little tricky. We need some baker's twine. Okay, and we're gonna use, let's use our Seal Plus, because that is a really strong adhesive. Okay, and we're just gonna run it up right along that crease in our card. Okay, so it's on the top and it's on the bottom. All right, I'm not going to close it because we're going to need it one more time. I'm going to put my stamp over here. Now, we're going to line up our tree in the center of that circle so that it's pointing straight up and down, right in the center. And put that Stampin' Seal Plus in the middle. You guys know I like the liquid glue best. That's why I'm having a little tiny struggle here. Okay, now see how with the Stampin' Seal, I don't have to go any certain direction. I really can get it to go in whichever way I want it to because it has little tiny breaks in it. All right, but next we are going to take our baker's twine. And I'm going to use white because a lot of our card here is white. And I am actually going to tie a tiny knot at the top. Okay. I'm going to lay it right in that fold. Okay. And then the bottom is going to be down here. Lost my scissors for a second. And I'm going to tie a little knot down at the bottom too. All right, now we're going to line our circle up so it's right in the center. We're going to pull our string pretty tight and we're going to set it down. And then we can even fold that little tail back. All right, and then we're going to press. I'm going to press that down along that string. Okay, and we're going to take our second tree and line it up so that it is right over top of the first one. And we're going to press it on there really good. Okay, now I'm going to use my liquid glue because you know it's my favorite. And we are going to put that all along this right edge of this card. I hope this works out because I did not look up the way I did it the last time. I just all of a sudden decided this is what we were doing. Okay, now we are going to open that front up and it's going to glue down on itself, this left side, okay? And I'm really trying to press it pretty good here. Now, okay, do you know what we're doing now? Can you see it? It's a spinning card. Oh, Tina, you made some yesterday? Okay. All right, we got to finish this up. Okay, so if you make a spinning card, Tina, will you post your spinning cards on my page so we can see them? All right, if you make the cards tonight, if you make either one, if you copy it and make your own, I would love it. Oh, look, my tree is a little crooked on the back. I don't think I can fix it either because I stuck that down really good. All right, so try to line your tree up a little better than I did. No one will complain about your card though, okay? No one's going to complain. Oh, good. Okay. It's so much fun to see other people's, I love seeing other people's cards too. You get so many good ideas from each other. Okay. So now, actually, let's see. This was our big circle, right? No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Okay. Sometimes I have an idea and then I realize it's not what I want. I don't know. I can't be the only one who does that though. All right, so now we're gonna cut a piece of basic white. That's 5 1/4. Danielle, it's not hard. And it's so much fun. I made one back around Valentine's Day with a little spinning heart in it. It was just so cute. Okay, so let's, on the inside of our card, let's stamp a little present. Because I feel like we don't need anything huge in there, but we need a little something, right? We do. And on the front, we'll put a Merry Christmas. Okay. Let's stamp some little pretty peacock presents. Just because that's the color we're using tonight. All right. And we'll do, let's see. We'll stamp one. And then we'll huff and stamp again. And I really like how that turns out when you have like a couple of different variations. Okay, and this time we'll stamp the top one dark and we'll stamp off the bottom one. But isn't that cute? And then it looks kind of like Lost Lagoon a little bit. I love those little spinning hearts. See, great minds do think alike, don't they? All right. And on the front too, you could use designer series paper around there. You could emboss that paper so that it looks different. There are a lot of different things you could do. Okay, so here's our little presents to go inside. And I'm going back to my green glue, my favorite green glue. And I'm going to do a thin line around the edge. I'm going to leave a little spot for my finger because I don't want it to get sticky. And then a squiggle down the middle. I know maybe you can hear me putting that green glue on. I don't know, but I'm just touching the paper so gently. I try to make it so that I can't hear it. If I can't hear it scraping along the paper, then I know it's not embossing it from the other side. I think that's one of the mistakes I made in the very beginning, is I pressed the tip of that green glue into the paper while I was putting the glue on. And then when you would turn the paper over, you could see those little squiggly lines. The paper really is delicate like that. Okay, so here is our little spinning tree, and then we need a Merry Christmas. So let's see. All right, I'm gonna put my little present back, and I'm gonna put my little tree back while I'm thinking about it. Okay, and we're gonna grab our Merry Christmas. Now that I'm done, I kind of wish I would have stamped some little snowflakes around there, but next time I'll do that. Maybe I'll get some of those, let's see, maybe I have some snowflake embellishments somewhere and I can put those on. Okay, so let's grab a piece of, okay, what am I gonna do? I want a little banner. Okay, let's see. I've got a little white banner over here. Now, see, this is a super great idea if you're making lots of cards. When you have your die cuts out and you're cutting along, just cut a couple extra. And then when you're making cards, you can just pluck them out of that envelope and be on your way. Because look how perfect that's going to fit that Merry Christmas. All right, but I'm going to cut a second one out of this. So I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have this one and this one. I'm gonna stamp on the one, our Merry Christmas. I am so glad you joined me tonight. Okay. Hopefully I'm not in the, sometimes I feel like have to get my head so far over the stamp to stamp even that you guys probably are catching the back of my head or something. I did do that once in a video, and then I was watching later. I was like, oh my gosh, they couldn't see what I was stamping. They can only see the back of my head. That's terrible. But I do try really hard now not to get in the way of the picture. Okay, so we have our Merry Christmas, and we have a second little banner. I'm going to put this Merry Christmas away before it gets lost. I don't know. I'm in the habit of putting things away right away because I know that if I don't, they will get lost. Okay. So here is our Merry Christmas, and that's going to fit on there perfect. But what we are going to do is cut our banner in half. So we're going to cut the colored one in half, and we're going to set it down like this. Now, I'm going to turn my banner over, and on the left side here, I'm going to put just a tiny bit of green glue. And I'm going to put a tiny bit of green glue on the right side of my banner. Then I'm going to line it up over the top. And before it dries, I'm going to make sure, whoa, oops, I really smushed it out of the way that time. I'm going to line it up. All of a sudden, my eyes aren't focusing right. Okay. And then I can turn it back over, and we can do the same thing with the other side. A little bit here on the left, and a little bit here on the right. I don't know if your ears were burning or not yesterday, but Tina, Georgette, and I were talking about you. She was here, yesterday. Oh my goodness, my days are blending together. She was here for my card buffet, and we were talking about you and your designing, and not in a bad way at all, just in a good way. Okay, so now here is our banner. Doesn't that change the look of it? Just having those little ends on there, I think it adds a little depth to it that we're really gonna appreciate. Okay, now let's put some dimensionals on the back. Now I have to cut some more because I'm at the end, remember? And I have to use up all these little bits. I cannot let them go to waste. Okay, so we're gonna put them on here like this. Okay, if you're making a spinning card with me. Oh, you were here for church today? I didn't know that, Tina. She is really excited about coming to stamp with you in your stamp room. She cannot wait. And then we're going to put this. I cannot focus. I can't tell if this is in the middle or not. I don't know what's all of a sudden. My vision is a little blurry. But it's all going to work out, right? It's going to be fine, fine, fine. All right, so look at that cool card. Okay, so now what you're going to do before you put it in its envelope, you're just going to twist it around a couple times. Let's see. And I'm going to leave it so that my tree that isn't crooked is on the front. And then when you open it, it spins around. Isn't that cool? And we have our little presents inside. So I really wish I hadn't stamped that one crooked. So when you line those up, just watch out for that. Little bit of crooked stamping. But I think we need some gems. So let me see what I got. What do I have? Well, it usually does not take me this long to decide on gems. So we're going to go with my favorites. The traditional rhinestone basic jewels. These are always my favorite. Oh, thanks, Tina. I'm glad you liked it. Did you see the first one? I wasn't sure if you got here in time. I'll show them both in just a minute. All right, so we'll use this great big one. Now, I say great big. It's not great big, but it's the biggest. And we're going to put it right at the top of our tree. Oh, I shouldn't have done that, should I? Because now the other one's not at the top. All right, well, it'll just have to be what it'll have to be. All right. And since I only had one, that was poor planning on my part. Okay, I'm going to put it here at the top of the tree, even though it doesn't quite look right. All right, and we'll put a whole bunch around here. That'll distract people from the fact that I did not get it in exactly the right spot. So let's see, we got 4, 5. We're going to go overboard this time. 6. Now you don't have to put that many gems on yours. I'm just Maybe people will notice. They'll be like, oh, she put all those gems on because she put the tree crooked. But maybe they won't. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so there is our Christmas tree card. All right, let's spin it one more time just for fun. And isn't that fun? I love spinning cards. Okay, and sometimes I forget about them. They're not hard to make. So there's our second card, the spinning card. And then here is our first one with the bears. I love those bears. All right. Thank you for joining me tonight for Stampin' Sunday. I will be back again next week with another class for you. And if you missed the cards that I showed at the beginning, you're going to want to go back and take a quick look at those cards that were at my card buffet. So if you are interested in getting my email with all the measurements in it to make these cards, make sure that you're signed up for that email list. There's a blue button near the top of the page that says sign up, and that will take you to where you can put your email in to get on the list. And okay, I have to do it one more time. All right, let's spin it up. I'll put the straight one on the top, okay? So there we go. Now, ready? Here we go. Isn't that fun? Okay, so there's our spinning card. And then here's our first card with the bear and that iridescent ribbon. It's so pretty. All right, I will see you next Sunday for another Stampin' Sunday class. I hope that you have a wonderful week and happy stamping.